All right, so Amy Klobuchar, she is a progressive running for president. She claimed to be a progressive tonight on Rachel Maddow's show, and I mean, that couldn't be further from what this woman is. She's a complete and total centrist. She's, in fact, been ranked many times, numerous years in a row, for being the most centrist of all of the Democrats and senators. So for her to claim that she's a progressive, oh gosh, I shouldn't laugh because it's actually pretty serious. You know, when people hear this and then they get confused and they don't understand what the progressive movement is even about, because people like Amy Klobuchar confuse the message. And that's actually not funny at all, because we're actually trying to do something here. We're actually trying to take back our government and get our house in order. And when people like Amy Klobuchar, who's a completely corporate and centrist, and at many times, like, might as well be a Republican, claims to be a progressive, it's harmful to the movement. I mean, it's just outrageous that she would even claim to be that. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of her clips. You know, she had announced that she's running for president. She did this in a snowstorm, which I actually got some flack on Twitter because I said, wow, this right here just automatically should disqualify her. And people didn't understand what I meant. And I'm sitting there watching her announce her candidacy in a snowstorm. And I'm thinking, my God, how out of touch can you possibly be with what humans want? Who wants to stand out in the middle of a snowstorm? Get these people inside, get them some hot chocolate. Really? But people, you know, they looked at it and they thought it made her seem like a badass. She's out in the middle of a snowstorm. And certainly it does. I mean, it's pretty impressive to go out there and do it like that. And I noticed she wasn't even wearing gloves, which is even more impressive. But, you know, who knows why she chose that venue? To show that she's a true northerner, or maybe if people didn't show up, she could have just blamed it on the snow. You know, people don't want to come out. I don't know. Here's her announcement.
I stand before you as the granddaughter of an iron ore miner, as the daughter of a teacher and a newspaper man, as the first woman elected to the United States Senate from the state of Minnesota, to announce my candidacy for President of the United States.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the things on her platform. Well, first of all, who is Amy Klobuchar? I mean, she's a Democratic senator from, well, if you want to call her a Democrat, she's pretty much right on the line. She's a Democratic senator from Minnesota. She was a prosecutor like Kamala Harris. She also was a lobbyist for several large organizations. She then went on to the Senate. She's known for reaching across the aisle. She's known for being bipartisan. She's known for, that's what she's known for. She gets a lot of praise from Republicans. They like her a lot. They say that she's easy to work with. She'll work with them. She'll kind of call out Democrats on things here and there. So she's very much a centrist who's been working across the aisle on a variety of things. A lot of the things that she's worked across the aisle on are not good things. And we'll get to that, because not only does she claim to be a progressive, but she also seems to take like she's going to be some kind of climate change activist, and yet her record has been anything but. So we'll get to that. But here's another clip from her announcement.
There are insidious forces every day that are trying to make it harder for people to vote, trying to drown out our voices with big money. It is time to organize, time to galvanize, time to take back our democracy. It's time, America. Time to pass a constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United and get the dark money out of our politics.
I mean, I just can't stop laughing look, I hope she does well. I hope she sticks around in the race. I don't think she's got much of a chance, but I hope she does well, because then she'll split the establishment vote. People have to decide between her and Cory Booker and Kamala Harris, and she's just another one of those. But here she is. She's talking about we've got to take back, and we've got to get dark money out of politics, and we've got to get the big corporate interests out of politics. And yet Amy Klobuchar, what's interesting about her is, according to Open Secrets, she is, out of all of the announced candidates, the one who has taken the most corporate PAC money. So now not in dollars, but because Cory Booker raises a lot of money, but in percentage of her campaign that's funded by PAC is like 20%. I mean, Cory Booker, it's 10%. So for her to be talking about, we're going to get this dark money out of politics and we're going to take it back, she's trying to talk the progressive line. I mean, she hears Kamala Harris say it. She hears Elizabeth Warren say it. She hears Tulsi Gabbard say it. She's hearing these candidates say, we've got to take back and bring politics back to the people, which is what they all should be saying. They should all be running on that because that's what the Democratic Party should be. But it's really disingenuous coming from her, considering the fact that she was a lobbyist and 20% of her campaign is funded by PACs. So, okay. All right, Amy. Like I said, hope you do well. Now, here's a clip. She's talking about climate change and what she's going to do in her first 100 days in office. And this is where it gets even more hilarious considering her record.
In the first 100 days of my administration, I will reinstate the clean power rules and the gas mileage standards and put forth sweeping legislation to invest in green jobs and infrastructure. And on day one, we will rejoin the International Climate Agreement.
Okay, so let's just go over some of her record. Now, this was an article that was written back in 2011. This was from the Star Tribune. They said here in this article that she supports removing gray wolves in Minnesota from the federal government's endangered list, introduced a bill mandating the sale of federal land to a northern Minnesota mining company, voted to exempt farmers from clean air legislation, and got behind the disputed Stillwater Bridge, a position that put her crosswise with her political mentor, former Vice President Walter Mondale. Yeah, she sounds like a real environmentalist, doesn't she? Real climate change activist. I mean, who is she kidding? Who is she kidding with all of this? Who is she kidding? She's going around saying, oh, we're going to get money out of politics. Meanwhile, she's taking more money than anybody else. She's saying, oh, yeah, we're going to first 100 days. I'm going to really, though, what she said, my first 100 days, I'm going to restore the Obama era climate change and environmental regulations. So we're going to roll back to Obama era. Well, we now know we need to go way further than that. We've got a serious crisis on our hands. We need to go further than what the Obama administration did. We're in crisis mode, lady. We don't have time to just go back to Obama era. I mean, that's pretty conservative. So she's sitting there saying, yeah, we're going to go back. We're going to roll back to Obama era regulations. And who is she kidding? She's trying to act like she's some kind of an environmentalist. And meanwhile, her voting record shows completely otherwise. The Stillwater Bridge that she was behind, that, Walter Mondale was against. I mean, so many Democrats were against that. So many environmentalists came out against it, and she was still supporting it. And she got it done. So Amy Klobuchar, progressive, climate change activist. Yeah, she's going to fight dark money. That's her. I don't know who's going to believe it. And then on top of it, a bit, I guess she's got, there's some rumors, and I don't really like to buy into the rumors so much, but there's rumors that she's really difficult to work with, that it creates a hostile work environment. And that has been said by a number of people that have claimed that. So there could be that. I mean, and the last thing we want is somebody with a bad temperament in the White House. We're already kind of dealing with somebody who you kind of wonder if he's ever going to hit that big red button. You certainly don't want somebody else who maybe has a temperament issue. But that part, I don't want to even buy into the rumors. Let's just look at her record, what she's talking about. I mean, she claims to be a progressive. It's harmful for the movement. She shouldn't say it. She's not. She's a centrist. She's a moderate. She's not progressive at all. I don't know who's going to buy this. But like I said, hope she does well, because it'll hopefully split the establishment vote. Okay, coming up, representative also from Minnesota, Ilhan Omar, she is under fire. People are saying that she made some anti-Semitic remarks when really all she was doing was telling the truth. And we're going to talk about that next.